And we start with this news video, but with something that really surprised me a lot, and that is to be able to see a Street Fighter VR recreational. This only happens in Japan, precisely in the Capcom Square in Hiroshima, and you can play there from April. The truth is that being able to play a Street Fighter in virtual reality has to be a real luxury. The shame that surely will not reach any device and will simply stay in arcade, as has already happened with others, such as Dragon Ball and some others. But without a doubt, I think it is very interesting that this type of action is taken into account. And, well, family, here we are on Thursday with the news video where we are going to deal with a lot of things that I think will interest you, such as the V50 of Meta, the next releases, and some more. And it has just been announced, I expect you to die 3 cog in the machine. Well, basically we are facing the new game of this saga that actually looks very good. Comment that the release will be produced in 2023. For now, it is confirmed for PC VR, MetaQuest 2, and MetaQuest Pro. I imagine that at some point they will also say that it is compatible with PlayStation VR2, but for now they have not been pronounced. There will be new missions, we will have the typical humor of the game, and we will put ourselves in the skin of a secret agent who they want to see dead. And for that, we will have to escape from different events where we will have to use all our ingenuity to be able to get rid of them. In short, a game that the avants of the escape room will love. And now we are going to talk about the new section, today's releases, and it is that for the MetaQuest 2, they have just launched the Light Brigade, a game that we have already commented on some other news video, and the truth is that it looks incredible. With so much PlayStation VR2, I have not been able to try it, which, by the way, is also available for this platform. We face a procedural game where we will have to fight against a series of hordes of enemies using our weapons from World War II and some secret skills. We can enchant ammunition and launch some other spell to get rid of them. With this game, roguelite, we will have the successor, the Spiritual of Indeth, which is particularly one of the best games I can recommend about bows. And regarding the other standalone platform from PICO, we have the following releases. We finally have the arrival of Moss, the little mouse quill arrives at PICO's devices. On the other hand, we also have the Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife, a game in which we will have to travel further to solve some other problem. On the other hand, we have the Eternal Starlight, a game that particularly reminds me of Homeworld, and the truth is that it also looks very good. And finally, we have the Shadowgate VR from Minds of Mythrock, a game in which we will have to use our ingenuity and spells to be able to go through the different levels. But the one that has undoubtedly been the star of this week has been PlayStation VR2, which we finally have them here, and it has been its official release. And here on the channel, you will be able to see both a technical review and a gaming review for all those who are interested in picking it up. And of course, we will also have to add a news section to be able to talk about its games, as we have already seen in the latest news videos. Specifically, 2 new releases are confirmed. On the one hand, I present Demio, which we already know a lot, how to play a Hero Quest type game but directly in virtual reality, and if you want to get in shape, we will be able to play less mill-body combat, which also arrives at PlayStation VR2 to get in tune for when summer arrives. But without a doubt, I think the most interesting thing is also the last 10 releases that have been said in these last days. Specifically, we have confirmed that Gorn will arrive, one of the wildest games we can find to get into an arena and destroy our enemies. And if you want something a little more serious, you should know that you have the Swordsman VR of that same style, which has also been confirmed for the launch of this device. Other games could not be missing, such as Hellsweeper VR, which will be released soon, another Fisherman's Tales, which is the second part of the great game to Fisherman's Tales, and of course others such as Sushi Ben, Ragnarok, Knock, Runner, Star Tenders, Intergalactic, and Unplugged Air Guitar. We could already say that the catalogue of PlayStation VR2 games reaches 40 units, which is not bad for a device that has just come out. But there are also some rumours that indicate that some more are being cooked, such as the Walkabout Mini Golf, which would arrive on PlayStation VR2 soon. But it is not only there, but Wanderer, which for me is the best game of 2022, will also be ported to this new platform. There are many more titles that are being developed and that we do not know, but today in the State of Play, 5 more games will be announced and we will be taking a look at it live to see exactly what is coming to us. But those who did not see what was coming to them were the workers of PICO, which seems to be that more than 300 people have gone out with their feet to the street. Without a doubt, it is not very good news, but the rumors indicate that after the launch of the PICO 4, there are more than 300 people who were left without their jobs. There has not yet been an official confirmation by Bytedance, the owner of PICO and TikTok, and knowing how the Chinese are in this case, I don't think I'm going to see it either. So from here, good luck to those employees and soon find a new job where they can really build what they want. But if we wish something for all users, especially for Pico users, it is that we finally have total integration with OpenXR. For us to understand, OpenXR is an essential tool that will serve us to port games from any device to any device without the developers having to complicate their lives. Imagine the time when all this was a field and each developer had to make his game thinking about the SDK of each virtual reality viewer that existed. Well, with OpenXR all that is over, and now practically all the devices that exist on the market support it, including the Pico 4. So bringing games from any platform to this new device is not going to be complicated. It is simply that the developers get the balls and that they begin to bring us games that we could already find on other platforms. And if you have come this far, I recommend that you subscribe to the channel because you will have a video every Sunday of news like this, putting you up to date. But what there are lately many rumors was that Tencent had completely cancelled the design and creation of a new virtual reality viewer. In fact, it is known that it was also pushing for the purchase of Pico, although it was finally carried by Dan. Now a possible agreement between Meta and Tencent comes to light to be able to take the Meta Quest 2 directly to China, which would mean a total revolution. Tencent, in addition to being a very fat company at the video game level in China, is also in charge of distributing the Nintendo Switch there, for example. So it wouldn't be the first time that it did something similar. If this agreement is true, Meta would descend to East China at any time. And that would mean a very important blow for the company of Pico, since right now they are the ones who dominate. They are 100%. They have not given us dates yet. But we are pending for what may happen, because this could be a great change for Meta's strategy, which also includes a lot of news for our Meta Quest 2. Specifically, right now it has been known by the V50 and the PTC that Meta is working on an automatic subtitle system. This means that the time has come for an artificial intelligence to subtitle practically everything we see, which would be a real wonder if those subtitles are capable of translating. Imagine being able to erase all the language barriers in any application, and it's not just that they could focus only on games, but they could also focus on social experiences, which is a little more where they are focusing all this. And it's the possibility that you can get into VR chat, for example, and that talking to anyone can subtitle what you are saying, not only to understand it, but also to translate it. And in this way, to be able to have a completely fluid dialogue with that person. If all this is true, it could be a very interesting evolution. So we'll just have to wait and see if it really ends up at some point in 2023. But what has already arrived directly this February 2023 is the next V150 update for Meta Quest 2, which I have been informing you about these last few days because it has had a lot of very interesting news. And now we can confirm that many of them have arrived and that they are about to stay. First of all, we have to know that the multitasking has been added while you are playing in the Quest 2, just like we could do in the Quest Pro. This means that if at some point you have to run a browser from the game, from the inside of the game to look at anything, you will be able to do it without any of the two closing. This would be interesting if the browser could also be kept in memory, but it is true that once you minimize the menu, the browser closes. But still, it is very good news because from now on you will be able to look at things while you are playing with your colleagues or you are in some application or whatever. Another thing that we had already announced and that finally ends up arriving is the Direct Touch, the technology they have developed to make all their interface fully tactile. From now on, we can press the icons or even drag the windows with our fingers. This could be a big advance, especially if we are thinking of using it as a mobile device, since by connecting a keyboard and a mouse, we can use it as if it were practically a computer. And now we can also control all the windows and icons and handle them without any problem with our own hands. So you know that this new update arrives for all the MetaQuest devices. And finally, also in the Meta blog, they have announced a very important thing about this V50, or at least that it seems particularly to me because it seriously harms me. And it is that from now on, the Touch Pro, that is the Touch that come with the Quest Pro that you can buy for the Quest 2, will significantly reduce the response time when you leave them on the table and pick them up again. Until now, what happened is that when you left the controls on top of the table, these took a while until they were placed on their site. According to Meta, this has been reduced to the minimum expression. I still don't have the V50, so I haven't been able to try it, but I'm hoping it arrives. So, family, I hope you liked the video. Thank you very much to everyone for being here. Thank you very much for reaching the end of the video. Thank you very much for the likes, the comments, and for sharing it. And without further ado, see you in the next video.